Tonight in CVM News at 7, Police Commissioner Blake believes the tide is turning on violent crime. Operation Storm securing St. James, addressing negative perceptions of local government, and Health Minister urges positive attention for Bustamante Children's Hospital upgrades. In sports, 3 Jamaican second-place finishes at the Cacao Diamond League meet in China. From Kingston, Jamaica, this is CVM News at 7, the weekend edition. It's Saturday, May 3, 2025. I'm Curlin Brown. Commissioner of Police Dr. Kevin Blake has returned fire at critics about the services of the Jamaica Constabulary Force and its efforts to reduce major crimes and improve security.
Even as we make gains, there are those who seek to sow seeds of discord and mistrust, who try to paint our officers as anything but the professionals they are. Let me be clear. We are a disciplined, modern law enforcement agency with a constitutional mandate to serve and protect all Jamaicans without fear, favor, or ill will.
Citing considerable reductions in major crimes as evidence of the broader strategic efforts of the JCF, the Commissioner provides a counter-argument to claims of excessive use of deadly force in relation to the apprehension of armed men.
These criminals act with shocking boldness, often recording and sharing their crimes on social media, displaying a chilling disregard for life and law. So, should it surprise anyone that these same criminals who murder at will turn their weapons on members of the security forces? Let me reassure you, we are undeterred. We will not retreat, we will not yield. The safety and security of the Jamaican people remain our mission, our duty, and our commitment. April 2025 has marked another historic milestone. For the second time this year, we have recorded the lowest number of murders in over 2 decades. 44 lives were lost in April compared to 82 in the same month last year. This follows our previous record in February when we reported 48 murders, the lowest figure in over 25 years. These are not just statistics. Each number represents lives saved, communities stabilized, and a signal that the tide is turning.
Meanwhile, the police in St. James are pointing to a reduction in murders committed in that parish. As we hear in this report, an operation that's a major offensive against criminality could further contribute to curtailing lawlessness.
Something to appreciate.
So St. James is on course to record its lowest murder total in over 20 years. The target is under 70 murders, and we are on target.
Operation Storm 2, designed to dismantle and disarm the gangs wreaking havoc in the parish of St. James. The intent? For law-abiding citizens to embrace the peace and safety they deserve.
We want to inform the citizens of this parish that they will see heightened police and military presence in all communities, township, and major thoroughfare across the parish of St. James. However, law-abiding citizens need not to be worried, as the focus will be on the gangs, as we intend to remove them permanently from the communities which they are hiding and are operating in.
Some criminals all too happy for the promotion of their gang names in public, but the security forces want to make it clear they are known and are in their sights.
Some of the gangs that will be given focused attention to is the G6 gang. They operate in Salt Spring Rose Heights, 641 gang, Salt Spring Rose Heights, Bloods gang, Flower Hill, YSF, Bird Hill, KDF, Mount Salem, Downtown Sparta and Young Sparta Generation, Flankers, Rebel gang from the Flankers community, Libyan gang, Flankers, YAK, Norwood, HDF, Norwood, one Don gang, Mount Carey, Shmoney, Maroontown, and Bad 13 from Springmount.
With specialized units from other agencies on board, the JCF is keen on placing continued emphasis on partnerships to help drive a number of its operational strategies.
We are just asking the citizens of St. James just to continue to support the police as we continue our assault on gangs and general violence in the parish of St. James.
We're encouraging the citizens to provide directly through 119, as I mentioned, and help us to identify the persons who are affiliated with these gangs and where they are residing. We want to know where they party, socialize, or hang out, the vehicles that they drive, and most importantly, where the guns are hidden.
Lawmen announcing that the preservation of life is important while urging the lawless to make good sense prevail by turning in the guns and surrendering peacefully.
Our response will be swift and decisive, and we hope those who have ears to hear will hear. So we are warning the gang not to challenge or resist the police when we come, as we have a lawful responsibility to first defend and protect ourselves and the decent law-abiding citizens of this parish. Because if we cannot protect and defend ourselves, how are we going to protect and defend them?
Damon Phillips, CVM News.
A multi-agency team, including the Jamaica Constabulary Force, the NSWMA and the Kingston and St. Andrew Municipal Corporation, earlier today engaged in a cleanup operation along the Gordon Town Road, where a buildup of various materials reduced traffic to single lane, posing danger to motorists and pedestrians alike. More in this report.
Derelict cars and mounds of aggregate were cleared from the narrow mountain roads between Irishtown and Gordon Town in North St. Andrew. The need to clear the accumulation of debris was made more pressing by recent rains. However, according to CEO of the KSAMC, Robert Hill, adequate notice had been provided to residents.
Here again, we have a major enforcement action taking place in the Gordon Town Division, and we want to thank the St. Andrew North Police in particular for their support. They also did request and support the request of the council and of the citizens to have the roadway cleared, and we are happy to have them partner with us today, as well as the National Solid Waste Management Authority. And I also want to commend the citizens and also thank them for their patience, because the road is actually blocked at this time due to the impact of this activity taking place. But we should be temporarily reopening the road to regular movement of traffic. Every operation of this sort costs us quite a bit of money, simply because we would have served notices to the public who are either obstructing or encroaching on the public right of way by way of garages or building material or other types of paraphernalia that have caused significant congestion and inconvenience to the commuting public. As you can see, this is the only main road, and it has been inundated with old vehicles, with junk, with building material, with blocks and sand and other things. And so, having served the notice and having given time for persons to remove these materials, they defied the request via the legal notice. And we are here today to carry out the other legal aspect of that notice, which is the enforcement action.
City Inspector for the KSAMC, Alric Francis, while empathizing with the challenges of storage for the many homes that dot the scenic cliffside of the historic road, suggests that the ad hoc nature of the storage of building materials in particular requires better planning.
We can't overlook the level of impediment and encroachment that these things are causing on the road. We have a responsibility, and we have to, one, maintain public order and public safety. So for persons who have been placing sands and gravel, and trust me, there has been a lot, I'm going to ask person to cease and desist. As a matter of fact, any residents in Kingston and St. Andrew who wishes to put these aggregates on the sidewalk or roadway must first come to the Kingston and St. Andrew Municipal Corporation and get permission, apply for what is called encroachment on the roadway, on the sidewalk, before you go ahead. Because if this practice continue, then it leaves us no choice but to go into these areas, serve the notices, and take the necessary action. It is causing accidents. We have seen it.
Those actions were made manifest as heavy equipment and a considerable police presence engaged in the cleanup operation, as we'll hear from JCF Commander for the Area 4 Police, Inspector Hugh Lewis.
What you're seeing here today is a major multi-agency operation, right? So we have the KSAMC here, National Solid Waste Management Authority, alongside the JCF. We're doing a major cleanup of the roadways along Irish Town and Garden Town, removing the old vehicles, clearing some landslides to make the roadways safer for the road users, both pedestrian and vehicular traffic. With the roadways cleared, it is easier for us to access communities, to conduct operational activities, as also to respond to the call to services of the citizens.
Joel Crosskill, CVM News.
Now, while speaking in St. James, the Minister of Local Government, Desmond McKenzie, cautioned elected officials not to be complacent as there is a need to restore confidence in the local government process across all municipalities island-wide. He stresses the interests of the people must come first, even as the authorities try to dispel varying negative perceptions.
Strengthening local government by placing more focus on unity. A push by Local Government Minister Desmond McKenzie speaking to members of the St. James Municipal Corporation. Montego Bay is the tourism capital of Jamaica, attracting a significant number of visitors annually and contributing heavily to the country's economy. The efficiency of the municipality is critical to the day-to-day activities of the citizens and business interests.
Local government is too important an area for us not to give it the kind of attention that is needed.
No room for inefficiencies, the minister cautioned elected officials, insisting they pay greater attention to the root cause of the dying interest of voters in the local government elections. Roadworks, garbage collection, market upkeep, approval of building plans, fire services and poor relief among the responsibilities to citizens.
Are we doing what we are supposed to be doing? These are questions that we must ask ourselves. And if you are confident that you are doing what you were elected to do, then you must walk and hold your heads high and be proud of your achievements. And there are those who will never accept when we do well. There are those who are critical of us.
The low voter turnout for local government elections, a telltale sign of the confidence of the people in the local government process, as many question value for money.
Some of it is not real. Some of the negatives are of our own making. Some because people just don't believe in the existence of local government. And therefore we have to demonstrate a certain level of responsibility in executing our duties to the people, not just here in St. James, but right across the country.
The reality is that the democratic enthusiasm among Jamaican voters has been waning, and Minister McKenzie is desirous of relevant government employees and those elected to office to adopt a new strategy as it concerns the accolades for work completed.
And it is important that we speak volume about our achievements in local government, about the things that we have done, that we have been able to accomplish.
Damien Phillips, CVM News.
Health Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton is imploring the public to look in the right direction regarding the infrastructural and equipment upgrades at the Bustamante Hospital for Children. We hear more from Adrian Williams.
Improvements happening at the Bustamante Hospital for Children, BHC, Health Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton implored the public not to get carried away with the cost of drill equipment procured for surgeries, as it was worth it.
Can't have our cake and eat it. If we say that we are about trying to modernize our healthcare facilities, we have to follow technology. I mean, it's quite logical, right?
The surgical team is happy for the move from their previous method of operations to the current upgrade, something Senior Medical Officer at BHC, Dr. Michelle Ann Richards Dawson, endorses.
Do a lot of work for across the country and the Caribbean, and we do not complain. And the fact remains that having this technology, which is critical, we have very good, excellent surgeons who have the skill and have a commitment to remain in Jamaica to serve our Jamaican people. And when we have the equipment, we can do more. We need your support.
The minister also toured a suite being built to accommodate more children along with their parents.
Looked at the overnight suite that is under construction, the new suite, which is slated to be completed in September. It will allow 30 parents or loved ones to stay here once their children are here.
This, he says, should alleviate the issue of loved ones coming from out of town without a place to stay while here. Adrian Williams for CVM News.
And the Spanish Town Hospital is set for a major overhaul with a $5.5 billion Jamaican dollar redeveloped project now underway. A 6-story state-of-the-art building will soon offer advanced services in oncology, cardiology, urology, psychiatry and more, along with new operating theatres, diagnostic labs and a modern accident and emergency wing, all powered by electronic health records. Now, just minutes away, the St. Jago Park Health Centre is also being expanded and upgraded at a cost of $704 million Jamaican dollars. The project includes a new building and upgrades to the current facility, expanding services in dentistry, mental health and diabetic screening. Both initiatives are part of the Health System Strengthening Programme backed by the government, the IDB and the European Union. Do stay with us for more right after this.
People, we now waste no time.
I am super excited to be on for another season to show you the Holy Road.
Listen, new adventures. Slim get Fluffy. That's cool, let's go. We're not going out, you know. Things are only getting hotter and hotter this season.
Click, click, pow, that must tell you something.
There's a great story happening just in our backyard. We are on the Holy Road again.
Project STAR is about people working together. I mean, we say it's a program of the JCF and the PSOJ, but that's one collaboration. But ultimately, it's a program of the community members in their own spaces, working with other stakeholders to bring about solutions. It's community-led, and it's community-informed, and it's community-owned.
Stronger communities don't happen by chance. They're built by people, purpose, and partnership. Through Shine 5K, we are proud to walk and run for community transformation with Project STAR.
When you support the Shine 5K, you are supporting the work of STAR. And the work of STAR is about collaborating at the community level to bring about social and economic transformation.
Together, we can invest in safer and more empowered spaces for every Jamaican to thrive. Join us.
We welcome you back with regional and international news.
We begin with news in the region. Ahead of Prime Minister Kamla Prasad Bissaser's swearing-in ceremony scheduled for 4 p.m. on Saturday, May 3, TTT News reported that they were still unaware of who would make up her cabinet.
If you treat citizens with callousness, contempt, and corrupt ways, I guarantee you, your retribution will be swift and brutal. Never, ever mistake my physical appearance or my kindness for weakness.
This was the stern warning made by Prime Minister Mrs. Kamala Persad-Bissessar on Thursday evening to her incoming members of parliament and ministers, noting that there will be a no-tolerance approach. Speaking to TTT News, MP-elect for Couva South Barry Padarat said the statement was one of a no-nonsense approach by the Prime Minister, but he believes this time around they are more experienced people.
I think this time around, the incoming government headed by herself has had the experience of 2010 to 2015. We have learned from some of the mistakes of the past and so on. And those things she spoke about at our final rally in Arangwes last Saturday. So we are a lot more experienced. I think we have a lot more candidates who are coming in, possibly as government ministers.
MP-elect for St. Augustine, Khadija Amin, wasn't surprised at Mrs. Persad-Bissessar's statement, noting that she's always been frank.
Kamala Persad-Bissessar has never been afraid to read the Riot Act or to pull the whip on her members.
Venezuela has accused the International Court of Justice (ICJ) of being influenced by anti-Venezuelan corporate interests. Caracas now calls for a return to bilateral negotiations, a move Guyana has outright rejected. In a strongly worded statement, the Venezuelan government dismissed the ICJ's authority, reaffirming plans to proceed with regional elections in the disputed Essequibo region on May 25, 2025. HGP TV provides this update. Pick up HGP TV provides this update.
In a strongly worded statement, Venezuela accused the ICJ process of being manipulated by anti-Venezuelan corporate interests. It reiterated that the Geneva Agreement remains the only valid path for resolving the border dispute and urged Guyana to return to direct negotiations. In response, Guyana's agent to the ICJ, Carl Greenidge, told this newscast that jurisdiction is not Venezuela's decision to make.
Venezuela is a member of the United Nations, and once you are a member of the United Nations and a court case arises at the ICJ which involves you, the court has a process by which it goes through to establish whether or not it can have jurisdiction.
Greenidge added that Venezuela is bounded by the 1966 Geneva Agreement and cannot selectively disregard it.
The International Court of Justice has looked at this complaint by Venezuela, suggesting that the court didn't have jurisdiction, and it has dismissed it.
He also dismissed President Nicolas Maduro's call for bilateral negotiations, calling it misleading.
And trying to rewrite the history and claim that you are a victim is really not going to prevent them dealing with the consequences of the court's decision.
And in international news, Labour's Anthony Albanese has defied the so-called incumbency curse to be re-elected Australia's Prime Minister in a landslide. The BBC reports.
Anthony Albanese, the country's Prime Minister, has won re-election. His opponent, Peter Dutton, conceded defeat in the vote, which has been overshadowed by Donald Trump's policy on tariffs. Well, the results make Anthony Albanese the first Prime Minister in 21 years to secure two consecutive victories. He's promised to embrace renewable energy and to improve Australia's healthcare system. Well, my colleague Georgia Terry is monitoring all of this for us. So just talk us through, how expected was this result? I mean, slightly expected, but not by this massive margin.
No, the results are actually really interesting coming out of Australia. You know, going into election day, the polls had Labor winning, but I don't think that people thought it would be by this much. Now, just to give you a little bit of a snapshot of this, the ABC, which is our broadcasting partner in Australia, has a predicted 85 seats to the Labor Party. Now, to get a majority government, that has to be about 76 seats. So they've well and truly reached that. But not only that, we had Peter Dutton not just losing this election, but he also lost his seat, which would be a major blow for the Conservatives, particularly because going into this, they were leading in the polls at the start of this campaign. And I think what wasn't necessarily expected was this kind of Trump factor.
And that's it for regional and international news.
connection between two nurses who found their calling in the United States health system after leaving Jamaica as teenagers from different backgrounds was compelling when they met recently for the very first time in that country. Well, a few days ago, they were here on the island supporting children as one. Time now for Inspire Jamaica.
Somebody's hand make this world a better place if you can.
On March 1, 2025, they met as strangers. The history-making nurse, Dr. Sandra Lindsay, acknowledged for being first in line for the COVID-19 jab, and Dr. Patricia Smith, who triumphed over homelessness in Jamaica and abroad to break the glass ceiling as an entrepreneur now. These two Jamaican-born were brought together at a gala in New York as awardees of the Children of Jamaica Outreach Incorporated COJO, a non-profit organization with a mission to assist and improve the health, education and general well-being of underserved children in Jamaica and in the United States. 56 days later, on April 26th, they were home, chummy like old friends, working together on a Dare to Care project in Spanish Town, St. Catherine.
How did you get here today, and why was it important for you to?
Today, I took a taxi. I wasn't sure where I was going, but that did not deter me. It was extremely important for me to be here today because I am on a mission to encourage, educate, and inspire.
Now that's a nod of approval, ensuring this Eagle-sponsored Pads on a Roll is well secured and ready for use by the wards of the state, a term which once defined Dr. Smith's legal status.
I am a product of state care, and I remain deeply passionate about assisting children in state care to ensure that they have the resources they need to thrive and survive.
So I remember when I asked you to join me on this visit, you did not hesitate. I was a bit, I would say, protective of you because I know it must have been very, very hard, and so I am very, very grateful that you joined us today. What do you hope that the children here will take away from your visit today?
My hope is that people, in particular children, will see me as a living proof. If I did it, they can do it. And I believe I was able to depart that to them because many of them came up to me and said I was inspired, I was encouraged. And that makes me feel good because that is my mission, to inspire those who are downtrodden, in particular youths.
Well, I was inspired, to just keep going and to give back.
And giving back she's been doing through her foundation.
Our paths may have been different, but our heart is in service and inspiring the next generation and motivating. So I can't thank you enough. Now, we're both nurses. We both had a long career, I would say, in healthcare.
My company overseas provides care for children who are sick, disabled, or they have special needs. Lord, thank you that I am not the only one on this mission.
I must say a big thank you to the Optimist Club, who is how I got involved with Dare to Care, and through the generous donation of grassroots folks who want to give back, we're able to provide the children with basic